Fiscal year 2007, it was 37.3%. In fiscal year 2008, 25%. 2009, 26.3%. 2010, 24.8%. 2011, 22.4%. Then 2012, 17%. And 2013, 11.5%. And this last fiscal year, it was 9.8%. So it was very high in 2007, 2008 before Romania went into the European Union. It's been declining ever since. So that should be good news. But in general, the more stable and prosperous a country is, the more likely the refusal rate is to go down or to be low. On an individual level, having strong ties to one's country is useful when one applies for a visa. Some people will ask, well, the refusal rate is relatively high. What is the sort of thing that brings the refusal rate down? Part of it is the stability of the country, a prosperous economy. But we also do our own statistical analysis of how the people who've been issued visas are returning to Romania or not. And it's an internal sort of thing. But it gives us a kind of a benchmark to see how things are going. So you would expect as the visa refusal rate declines, it's possible the number of persons who overstay in the United States goes up. For the most part, if I were to give advice to people traveling to the United States, I would ask them to comply with the conditions of the class of the visa they're using. If the visa does not allow you to work in the U.S., do not work without lawful authorization, and do not overstay the period you've been granted to stay in the U.S. So the studies that we do are what we call validation studies. We get an idea of how many people may be overstaying. If that rate is very low, it makes for a logical case to perhaps issue more visas. If that were very high, then we would have an idea that something could be wrong. But the good news is we've been declining on the refusal rate over the years. And although I can't give you the exact rate that we found for overstays, and we can't be exactly 100% accurate on that. But we can do a trend from year to year. But the refusal or the overstay rate is relatively low. This becomes important if legislation passes, which allows for a change in the refusal rate for a visa waiver program, for instance. But we may get into that with questions. I'm sure somebody might want to talk about the visa waiver program. But for now, I'd like to open it up to questions for myself or for any of my subject matter colleagues. So
maybe you have an advice for those who didn't get a visa, but they are clean, so they don't have problems. And they want to travel to the U.S., but somehow they get